there are commands that I have to do, that I'm compelled to do.
Yeah.
And yet sometimes I don't want to do them.
Yeah. Like a colonoscopy.
That is not at all what I mean, because I've done that now this last year.
Are you putting off a colonoscopy? Is that why you're bringing this up?
No, we go to right? We did our colonoscopies like men.
Yep.
Okay.
Did you do it together?
No.
Did you,
No.
We held
did
hands.
you plan a date?
Welcome to the Prophets podcast, where all things are possible when love is your bottom line.
That's right.
I'm Steve.
I'm Al.
And all are welcome here. Entrepreneurs, business professionals, tradespeople, Santa Claus,
Reindeers.
the Easter Bunny, and
The Beastie Boys.
Great Pumpkin Patch Kid guy.
The Garbage Pail Kids.
Everybody's welcome. How you doing, Al?
I'm doing great. I wore a sweatshirt today
I saw that.
to match you, and I'm really hot.
Yeah,
It was a bad choice.
God did it sweatshirt. I've got a Dyko brand shirt.
Our buddy Todd Resser out in the West.
Yeah.
That's his brand.
Yeah. Conequip sponsors Prophets to the Prophets podcast, and I gotta honestly say that indirectly Todd also sponsors us.
Would you say he's a
Go ahead, Sophia.
Western
What do you got to
wrestler?
say? Sophia, why don't you? I told you could do this podcast.
Western wrestler.
He's a Western wrestler. Yeah, he'll like that. You got to leave this in there.
Thank you. Why you always come down on me so hard? You get so annoyed. You're the one that asked me to put a mic on me and turn the camera around.
Big mistake.
Yeah. You brought this
Hold
on
on.
yourself.
Steve hasn't eaten yet today, or probably yesterday. So, he gets a little agitated.
Do you want water? I can get you water.
So, we had a really
do you
nice
actually want
discussion.
water?
Go ahead, Sophia.
No, do you want water?
No,
like,
good.
'cause okay.
Good, thank you.
I know.
Thank you.
Sorry, I'll stop now.
No, you're good. You're good. You're adding to this. I love your peppy spirit, definitely. And honestly, I think it's going to rub off on this podcast. Your great, wonderful spirit, happiness, joy, smiling. Don't dial it back for me.
I'll continue eating chocolate and
I'm just a
candy
little-
right before.
I'm a bitter, hungry man right now. That's all.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I understand.
But we had a great podcast that we just recorded about New Year's resolutions, and Sophia put this really excellent outline together, and there's a lot we didn't cover. So I wanted to
'Cause I'm thorough.
Go ahead, Sophia.
Stop it. I'm making a sarcastic quip. I don't need you to stop everything you're doing.
No.
I have nothing further to add. Just sarcasm.
I think it's very appropriate.
Sophia, I'd like for you, actually, since
I'm
we
sorry.
start every
I'm
podcast,
very hyper today.
since we start every podcast off with like a little anecdote or story, I want you to come up with a story from your time in the Navy and share it with everybody.
Oh, yeah.
What kind
Just
of
something
what
funny,
kind of story?
something was crazy, either basic training or at your unit, something you can remember that was like, to lead us into our discussion, which will be about stopping bad habits and starting new disciplines. What about the Navy can you remember was like just stuck with you?
So, as some people who have seen previous episodes may know, my mother was on the podcast, and she is a very strict, stern woman who has everything all put together and runs a very tight ship. And she's my mom. She's teaching me how to do all this stuff, and I'm going to boot camp, right? I got all these ideas in my head, from movies and social media of what it's really gonna be like. It's gonna be super hard. They're gonna make me scrub on my hands and knees with a toothbrush behind the toilet. And I get there, and I'm like, I had to pause for a moment because it was so easy compared to everything my mom had me doing growing up.
You were like relieved to be in boot camp.
That's abuse.
It was such a break.
Vacuum it again.
That's funny.
It was Yeah, I'm
That's
sorry.
cool.
I don't really have any.
Well, that's fine. That's fine. Sophia's story does, however, bring us to the topic of the day. And the topic of the day is Grace stopping a bad habit, starting new discipline. So bad habits and new disciplines. You had to, basically, when you get into basic training, you have to stop some bad habits like, sleeping.
Like sleep.
They want you sleep deprived.
Go ahead, Sophia. Just kidding. I just like saying that. So stopping a bad habit and then starting new disciplines is a big thing that obviously that they have you do in basic training. And that's where Al and I are going to talk about right now. And all of us have bad habits.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Have you ever had bad habits?
I have a few of them. Yeah, absolutely. Several.
What's a few of your bad habits?
I overshare.
Oh, gosh. You right? Or you used to, you said.
I try to stop that.
Oh, I overshare a lot.
I overshare way too much.
Way too much.
I interrupt people. I don't let them finish.
I feel like you're not actually listening to me.
Yeah, sure.
Are you
Yeah,
actually
okay.
not listening to me,
no,
or
I
are
get
you
it.
saying that you
Okay,
get
sure.
that it seems that
totally.
way?
Yeah, that makes sense.
You're clearly not listening to me. Just shut up.
Barrett,
Shut
sure.
up.
Okay,
Shut up.
sure.
Shut up.
Sure.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Okay.
Shut up.
Okay, sure.
Shut up.
Okay.
And I'm trying to stop that
You interrupt people?
all the time.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
He passed it down to me. That's why.
She has the same problem.
So there are a lot of, everybody has got bad habits of one kind or another, right? And there are certain habits that people want to try to stop. This is an extension of our podcast on New Year's resolutions, which you can check out right here. And you can't just stop a bad habit, but you have to start a new discipline. You had said in the last podcast, you have to replace a bad habit with something, right? You have a bad habit. Let's approach one small bad habit like oversharing, right? Or interrupting. Let's do interrupting. You're doing great, by the way.
It's very difficult. It's very difficult.
Okay, so you have you're interrupting people too often. You're not hearing what they're saying. What's a small consistent action you can take, or do you take, to stop that?
Well, first off, the reason I want to stop interrupting.
Or what do I want to say before that is. I'm sorry, I'm just kidding.
See?
So
No,
I'm hyper.
Honestly, my motivation for stopping, or at least being aware of it, is that it annoys people, and it gives them the impression that I'm not caring to listen to their full statement before I jump in. And I want to be caring of others. Like I want you to feel heard. You know what I mean? And so I also am trying. So on that, I want to stop trying to formulate what I'm going to say next and just hear what you're going to say and take it all in. If I want to respond because it's something that I think is appropriate, great, I'll do that. But I love interrupting with advice before you're even finished. I just can't help myself. I know the answer. I know the answer to that. I got the, you know what I mean?
Right.
It's just unfortunate. Yeah. And I don't know why I do that.
All right. Well,
I do know why, but you want me to tell you why I know why I do that?
Yeah.
I just want to be valued.
Okay.
Right. And I think knowing and sharing what I know is more valuable, I thought, than you finishing or being heard. But now I've changed it. I know like you being heard is more valuable than me giving you the answer.
Okay. I love everything you just said, because you said, so stopping a bad habit, it's not just saying, I have this bad habit, so I'm going to stop it. It's recognizing the habit, what it's doing, and you have to, define it, recognize. It's like going to a doctor. Like you have this thing, it's interrupting somebody. So what's happening is, your wife has to pick up the slack here because of this or that, or your friends aren't like wanting to be around you. So you're recognizing what the bad habit is doing and why you have the bad habit. You're saying like you wanted to be validated.
Oh, yeah. I absolutely want to be heard. I just want to be validated or valued. And I looked at the symptom behind it. And then I replaced it. with something I think more valuable, really more Christ-like. He would listen to people as he's, interacting. That's, in the Gospels, it talks about that. So much interaction, right? And he knows everybody's thinking, but he still allows, he listens to what they have to say. And then he asks a question or he responds. And that way, relative to, what they're talking about. But honestly, just being heard on your part, if you're speaking to me, is part of the solution. Some people just need to be heard. They don't need to get
Right.
the advice from me. I don't have to give the answer,
Uh-huh.
right? Sometimes just being heard is the value,
Yeah.
right? And I could be a listening ear,
Yeah.
a compassionate person. And so I think that's more valuable to me than being heard, right? Me speaking, I think that actually brings more value.
Yeah. It's tough for you though, because you're a problem solver. You're also, in my opinion, very intelligent, and you see things. So it's got to be really tough when you have that person's answer for them while they're talking. But like you said, and this is kind of, I think it's a man-woman thing too. Women just want to be heard. They don't necessarily want a solution all the time, right? Us guys are like, I have a solution for you. I'm going to share it with you right now so we can move past this, right?
That has ruined 15 years of my marriage.
So,
But the last several have been good.
so recognizing your habit, why it's bad, and then taking steps to, change the actions. So, what do you do? Like when you're like, I'm gonna answer that for you. What do you consciously do?
Well, there is a battle in my head, and you could probably notice the battle because
Your eyes are twitching back.
I'm like,
So,
no, there's a battle going on. I have to remind myself to listen and actually hear, because I have ADHD as a child. It was diagnosed. It probably carries into your adulthood. Never corrected. So, it's just like I'm thinking about 5 different things anyways. But I just want to be present for you,
oh, so nice.
and I want to look you in the eye. I want to, I want you to be validated. I know what it feels like to not be heard.
Yeah.
And so that's probably part of my problem. But,
Oh.
hey, what, and it doesn't have to be a man-woman thing, but the way you're talking about it is absolutely true. Like women want to be heard and they don't want you to give you a solution. I had 4 daughters and my wife. I remember when like Sophia she's blunt enough and compassionate for the person she's responding to enough to say, Dad, I just want you to hear me. I don't want you to, I don't want you to give me advice. Like she was, right. She knew that I struggled.
She said that.
With that. Oh, absolutely.
That's cool.
She's that kind of person. And, I just want to be heard, Dad,
That's
you
great
don't
that
have
she
to give
has
me
the
advice.
insight to say that.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, and this is like a child saying that to you, which is very sobering, Okay, wise Sophia. I mean,
That's great.
See, the thing is, I witnessed enough arguments between him and the other women in the household.
Okay.
That I knew he needed the PSA
Oh gosh.
before I started.
That's awesome. All right, so how does that relate to other habits? Let's just say bad eating habit. We were talking about smoking in the last episode. Bad financial decisions, driving too fast. I don't know. There's so many other habits that people have that it might not be the one you were talking about, interrupting. So how do they get away from the bad habits, would you say? And then how do they start the disciplines to improve?
what do you struggle with the most personally?
I think financial. I'll stick with that. Okay, so Here it is. Okay, I'll give you a great example. My kid and I we could drive to Cleveland for the Bills game coming up. Tickets there are $40 each.
What?
Yeah, because Cleveland stinks, so they're like giving away tickets basically to get in there. It's a 3-hour drive, but I don't have reliable cars right now. We could take my kid's 2006 Dodge Ram that's probably going to crack in half because of all the rust it has, right? So it would be a bad decision to go with the financial environment that I'm in right now. It would just be irresponsible because truck could break down. If nothing else, it's just the optics of my wife seeing my kid and I drive to Cleveland to watch a football game when we got so many other things going on. We still have to buy, we have to get a car. I told you about that.
Yeah.
So that's a bad habit of making bad decisions. So I have made steps to stop doing these things. But for other people that maybe are still doing something, let's just say stick with the financial thing, what's a way to kind of change those habits, those bad spending habits?
Well, I think in your response, you have a couple points that I think we need to list out. You're thinking about, right, the responsible thing to do. There must be a point in your head, right, or in your spirit or character or your history where you have like a level of character in relation to money, like how you're supposed to, make decisions based on it. How are you supposed to consider the consequences, consider your wife's feelings. You spelled out the roadmap.
Mm-hmm.
And I think too many people don't do that when it comes to money.
Okay.
They don't think about others. They don't think about the future. They don't think about the habitual add up of small little cuts, the death by 1,000 cuts.
Okay.
They don't think about those things. Like I remember at any point in my life where I'm like, I got to buckle down and re-budget, because sometimes you budget and then you get away from it.
Mm-hmm.
I remember one time I had like $700 spent on coffee in a month.
Wow. And I actually, I can see that easily.
So honestly, like, okay, well, that's $700. If I did that every month, for how long? What if I put $700 in a annuity or a money market fund or in something that, over 10 years, what would that do? Right. Or 40 years, and this what I think is a lot of people just don't think that. Their core is that I just want this and I'm going to buy it.
Yep.
They just don't think about the future.
Yeah.
And like setting a place for every dollar that you have, right, and being a good steward of what God gave you, whether it's being generous, right, in that way, tithing in a consistent way to God's work, whether it's you could decide those things, right? Mm-hmm. And so honestly, I've had ebb and flow of life where debt, no debt, and just kind of ebb and flow of this journey. But I would say when it comes to anything, especially when it comes to money, you have to go to the core, your relationship with money, right? You just gotta deal with that. Some people use money, spending of money, to make themselves feel better. Mm-hmm. If you have that issue, right, and you're attaching emotions to something you're buying, then you're going to have a bigger struggle if you never deal with that.
Okay.
So I am an emotional spender. I love spending money on people. I like, you know what I mean? I just love doing it. I like spending money to go shopping and make me feel better, retail therapy, they call it. So I have that as a core problem that I have to deal with. And, it could be, and when you get that under control, you can put something in place of that sometimes. Go from spending for retail therapy to feeding yourself to make yourself feel better, right? Mm-hmm. But there's a core behind, that bad habit.
Yep. Now you kind of just said what I was going to say is it goes from money to like eating, right? So the emotional attachment to these things is what props up that bad habit. And then you had said already, you have to recognize it, what is causing this bad habit, why you're doing the things that you're doing, and start addressing that as opposed to actually the bad habit and what you're hoping to get out of it.
Yeah, I think the framework you set up in a money situation could be a budgetary framework. Dave Ramsey has programs. There's plenty of people who have programs out there where here's a budgetary plan, a payoff debt plan, a savings plan. You write up all this framework, and even in some of his books and the way he talks about things, he talks directly to, hey, you got to deal with your emotional part of it first. What's your relationship with money in the past? Did you grow up without anything and now you want everything so that you feel safe, right?
All right. So recognizing the bad habit. Dave Ramsey says it well. You got to deal with that first before you start implementing the new disciplines. Because if you don't know why you're implementing these disciplines, it's almost like taking a medicine without knowing what the medicine's for. You have to know you need to know what the prescription is, what the dosage is, and what it's trying to correct. And you had said it so well that it's the emotional attachment to whatever that habit is.
That's right.
Okay. So making the environment work for you instead of relying on willpower.
Ooh, that's good. You know, the way I think about this when I say this is how I am, right? I'm going to start a new habit. I say that's who I am. Like at my core, I either don't do this or this is what I do. You know, this is me, right? I don't allow like a feeling though to dictate that, but I do want to use all tools, all frameworks, all accountability systems, whatever it is, to support my goal, right? You know, it's like if I'm going to have a dietary change, right? Like I'm going to say I'm going to stop eating this or I'm going to eat better. Well, first, what does eating better look like? I'm going to put a framework together, a little plan. It doesn't even have to be written. It could be just what you decide in your head, but you're going to commit to it and you're going to change all of the choices that are in your refrigerator. Like I need to eat fresh fruit, okay? It's part of my healthy thing. If I don't have fresh fruit in the refrigerator,
Yeah. Then what's the point of knowing you need fresh fruit?
I know. If my only choice is fruit snacks,
Right?
that's not fresh fruit. I mean, I got fruit,
I got some strawberry ice cream in there.
right? That's fruit, right? That's part of the fruit groups. But like, you know, you have to
Oh gosh.
you have to create a better
Yes.
environment.
Yep.
If I say I'm going to work out at home and I don't have a place to work out at home, how am I, you know what I mean? Unless I'm doing push-ups. Well, let's make sure I have a place. Let's make sure I have an alarm to wake me up at a certain time, that I have you know what I mean? You're just going to make sure your environment reminds you. And I do what's called habit stacking. Whenever I go and take a shower, I do push-ups before I jump in the shower. But I do push-ups before I turn on the water. And while the water's warming up, I do some more push-ups. It's like I just stack these habits, right?
Yeah.
It's just part of what I do, you know. But I think like I'm creating an environment for success in some of these areas, right? I don't know if that makes sense to you guys.
Yeah, it's about, you know, putting in place things that will start to help you break away from a bad habit, or maybe not necessarily break away from a bad habit, but start to get you to replace, I guess, the bad habit. Like a bad habit of like eating too much food, like you said. I was talking about the environment, putting, you know, fruit in the thing, but also maybe taking a different route home from work so you're not passing by all the fast food restaurants.
That's a good idea.
Just those small little things that you can do to pull it, and then you do the push-ups, and you look at yourself in the mirror, and you're like, I think I'm getting a little bit, you know, more tone here, and that will help you say, you know what, I definitely don't want to like ruin this with a Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich today, although those are pretty doggone good.
What do you mean they're calorie free?
So does telling people your goals make you more committed?
I think so. I have to tell people so I can be accountable, even just to speak it out. You know, there's a movement on social media, right? Like I even seen a couple of videos that say this, like, don't let anybody know you're doing this. Don't let anybody know this. And then you're a sleeper, right? I kind of, you know, it's kind of cool to think, oh yeah, when they see you next year at that meeting, they're going to be, you know, it's talking about like, yeah, you're just going to show up and people are going to be like, what happened to that guy? Look at that, you know? But I don't think that's how it works though. But I think their whole point of what they're saying is to not rely on others to motivate you or to like look for some kind of feedback that feeds you something, because you should just be able, like, this is what I do. People who run marathons don't have to run marathons because they are seen by others.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
they get up every day and train for a marathon, whether somebody's seeing them or not, right? Like,
Right.
I think there is something about that. And that's why I was saying earlier is like, this is who I am. I do this, okay, because that's just what I do. Or I don't do that because that's just not me.
Mm-hmm.
I just say, to me, it's part of who I am. I'm a child of God.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that, right? Because I think it takes away from my testimony, or you know what I mean? It's not God honoring. So if you're going to go ahead and decide to do something, and you set up environmental help or whatever triggers of accountability by sharing it with a brother or sister in Christ or anybody, I don't think that's bad. I think it's a good thing.
I like the next one. Are you doing it because you want to or because you think you should? Ooh, that's a tough one because there's things you should do, but you don't really want to do them, but you know you should. So what's the way to work that out?
It's like saying, I think there are buckets of things you should do no matter what you want or not,
Mm-hmm.
and things that you should, want to do,
Mm-hmm.
right? But even if you don't want to do them, you have to put them in the quadrants of like have tos. There's commands,
Yeah,
okay?
right.
And I live in relationship with the Lord and His Word. So there are commands that I have to do, that I'm compelled to do.
Yeah,
And yet sometimes I don't want to do them.
yeah. Like a colonoscopy.
That is not at all what I mean, because I've done that now this
Are
last
you
year.
putting off a colonoscopy? Is that why you're bringing this up?
No, we go to he hit right.
Yeah.
We did our colonoscopies like men.
Yep.
Okay,
Did you do it together?
No.
Did you,
No.
we held
did you
hands.
plan a date?
Check your foundation of why your motivations of why you're doing things.
Yep. Yep. Back to that question: are you doing it because you want to, or because you think you should? I would say, even something like kicking the habit of smoking, you have to do it because you want to. If you are trying to quit smoking because you know you should, but you don't want to, that it's not going to work.
I should want to stop that because I'm going to do something different with it. Maybe, like I said, I might take it in prayer to the Lord and ask Him to help me before I get to the retail therapy thing, or wanting to overeat, or wanting to whatever. There's a reason I get there, and it's earlier in the journey. And if you get to the core of that, right, not just how it looks to people and whatever, or the society is influencing me, you'll have much more success.
Yeah.
Is I think what you're saying.
Yeah.
When you do it because you want to.
Great discussion. That brings us to our last segment of the podcast, and that is something fun. We're going to make this real quick. Sophia, I want you to pull up a good corny joke and share it with us. Hurry up, because Al's going to pee his pants right
I'm
here.
doing the potty dance under the desk. It's kind of like a duck. They're really calm on the water, but underneath.
All right, so we're finishing this.
I feel like this is.
All right, here's our corny joke to finish the podcast. Sophia's got it. Go ahead.
What's brown and sticky?
Al's pants.
It's not that kind of potty.
Okay.
I just got to go number one.
What's a stick?
Oh, sick.
Thanks for joining us. Follow us, people. See you next time.
I find myself so funny.